Hello, welcome to episode 41 of Tales from Midnight Diary. I'm Gemma and I am so pleased to have you here for another crafty chat. I don't know about you, but I have got just a small coffee and I'm in the mood for a natter. So if you haven't got a drink yet, why don't you go and grab one and I'll meet you back here in a sec. If you're a returning viewer and you've been with me a while, are you okay? Did you fall off your chairs when you saw it was me again after just a week? Up you get, on your seat, grab your project, let's get going. New viewers, I want to start the episode by saying a ginormous thank you. Thank you so much. I can't believe how many people have subscribed in the last week. I don't know where you've all come from, but I am not complaining. It's so nice to have new people. What is going on there? I'm a bit like a Labrador. I get easily distracted. It is so nice to have you here. Honestly, I don't check these things terribly often. I find if you focus on numbers and things like that, you tend to get a little bit, you forget why you're doing this, and I'm doing it to share crafty things and have a nice chat. But yeah, like, wow, where have you all come from? Thank you. It's just blows my mind when there are so many wonderful podcasts out there that you would have chosen to subscribe to mine. So thank you very, very much. That's very exciting. Yeah, it's obviously only been a week, so there is a limit to how many things I've created, but I've got a couple of things I want to talk to you about today. One is when things go wonky, and two is my autumn knitting plans. And I would absolutely love to hear how you're approaching your making this autumn. If there are any new crafty rabbit holes you're diving down, if you're doing the gift making or not the gift making. Are you finishing things off? Are you casting things on? I would absolutely love to hear, so do let me know in the comments below. So yeah, for those of you who might be joining me for the very first time, hello, I'm Gemma. I'm the maker, designer, dyer and tutor behind the Midnight Diary, from which this YouTube channel and this video series take their name. So it's a hand-dyed yarn company, originally based in Kent, and as of the last month and a half in beautiful Devon. We're finding our feet. I'm gradually getting myself organised with regards to all the things, but there's started to be a little bit more making time and a clear wall with no boxes so I can sit and chat. So here we are. Right. I threw my pumpkin in the last edit and now I can't find it. Bear with. Let that be a lesson to you all. Don't throw your pumpkins. So pumpkins, yes, I have a wonky finished object. It's temporarily finished. It's about to be pulled back and reworked, and I'll explain for why in a moment. But let me introduce you to my beautiful deformed munchkin pumpkin. Isn't she sweet? So I have just started back on Instagram again, and one of the things I used to enjoy is photography and setting up photographs and things, not from a sense of being, you know, fake and overly curated, but purely from the fact it's a photograph platform and it's an opportunity to practice with photography and composition. That's something that does interest me, and particularly still life. And with it being autumn, and particularly October, there are a whole range of interesting squash and pumpkin varieties in the supermarket. And knowing that I was moving from my blue phase into a distinctly more autumnal palette, I thought, oh, wouldn't it be fun to have a few squash and pumpkins to take pictures with that I can then incorporate into recipes later. And I brought among others, these two little munchkin pumpkins. They're actually called munchkin pumpkins. They're so sweet. They're basically like a normal pumpkin, or would be a normal pumpkin, but it looks like someone's made it out of Play-Doh and just gone and squashed it. And the result is something very much like that. So it's still got the kind of segmenty bits of the pumpkin, but it's a little bit squished. Yeah, so I brought them home, and my son is a big lover of Miss Rachel, who, if you've got toddlers, you may have heard of, and she's got this song, I Dropped My Pumpkin. And Robin is in fits of giggles over this song. He absolutely loves it. And so when I brought home this munchkin pumpkin, you can imagine what he did. He immediately, on his head, dropped his pumpkin, pick it up. Honestly, go and check out the video, it's quite funny, of Miss Rachel. And he's been carrying this pumpkin around, so we're kind of almost like joking, we've got like an emotional support pumpkin in the house, but there we are. So I thought, I'm going to have to make him one, because this pumpkin is not going to last terribly long. Now let me find the yarn. Nope, can't find the yarn, dumped it somewhere. So I had this ball of yarn, and it wasn't a ball, it was a hank, and it is called Pumpkin Spice, which is just perfect for this. Could it be more perfect? And it's lovely burnt orange with these beautiful neps in, these undyed, they're called neps, undyed bits of fibre that don't take the dye, they're dye resistant, and that's what gives you that lovely tweedy look. I can't remember the fibre content because I've put the label somewhere, but I will either find the label or find the photograph I took of the label, and I'll let you know what it is. It was a gift from my friend Mina, and I thought this is perfect for my pumpkin. And here is my squash pumpkin. The shape is pretty good. I'm really chuffed with the fact that the segments kind of are defined, even without doing what lots of pumpkin patterns have you do is do that afterwards. Just wind yarn around it and through it to make the definition, and I definitely will do that, but I'm really chuffed that it's kind of already got a little bit of that already with the way I've done the increases. But yeah, I was making it on my hubby's birthday, and I got a bit carried away with the increases, I think. So it just needs, you can see here where the problem is, it's got all this extra fabric. So if that was to come out, then the pumpkin would be much more successful, I think. Sorry, I'm looking at the pumpkin in the viewfinder. So yeah, I can't undo this at the moment because I've done it too tight, but I was working on it the other night and it was taking ages to get around as well, so I was getting really bored because it didn't feel like it was growing, and I thought, you know what, I think I've got too many increases in here. I need to do the decrease, stuff it, and see what it's going to look like. And this is what my wonky squashed munchkin pumpkin looks like. My little sad pumpkin. It's quite cute, really, all things considered. So what's going to happen is after this, I'm going to unwind it. You can see, I'll talk about this in a minute. Pull it back and do fewer increases and start again. And so hopefully by the end of this weekend, there will be a completed pumpkin. I thought it's just important to show when things go a bit wonky though, because it's a process. Making is a process, designing is a process. I wouldn't go as far as to call myself a designer, even though I've got designs on my website. I don't know why. I think if other people were in my shoes, I would say they were a designer, but there we are. But it doesn't always go right first time, and it does require going back to the drawing board occasionally, and that's okay. And I wanted to show that because I'm terrible for going through and comparing myself to other people and saying, oh, you know, look, she's just knocked this pattern out the park, and oh, it might come so easily to them. But actually, you don't know what goes on behind the scenes a lot of the time. And I think a lot of the time there's a lot more frogging than people might expect. So here we are. For all people who've made anything wonky out there, this is for you. Oh, goodness me. So yeah, I actually don't have any stuffing either, and I kept forgetting. So the yarn shop in our town actually closed down the week we arrived here, which is really sad. Nearest one's like a town away, which is fine. We were at Wool on the X earlier this week in Exeter, and I was so giddy at meeting Ella and the gang, and so excited that I forgot to ask about stuffing anyway, and as excited because I picked up something else which I'm going to show you, and it's my autumn knitting plans, and it's in this bag next to me, and I can't wait to show you. Anyway, I forgot stuffing, wanted to see what it looked like stuffed and finished. Didn't have any stuffing, so I used cotton pads, not even cotton balls, cotton pads, and the result is I'm really struggling. I'm struggling to hold it. I don't want to fiddle with it and undo it right now. I might even take the scissors to it because it's just yeah. Oh. Anyone else like that with cotton wool? I apologise if I've made you shudder. I'm actually getting goosebumps up my neck as I'm talking to you because of the whole pump. Yeah, and that's why I threw it last time. Anyway, so that's my kind of finished object, my wonky squashed pumpkin. Let's move on to talk about autumn knitting plans. Now, I used to be a big planner. I was a little bit, shall we say, optimistic? I think we can say optimistic. And took the time between sort of September and Christmas, and I clearly thought there were like 6 months instead of 3. I don't know. My concept of time just wasn't there. And put myself under masses of pressure, and I'd be like, oh yeah, this is what I'm going to make this autumn, this is what I'm going to do, da, da, da. Make hardly any of it, and then feel like pants afterwards for not doing it. But I think the whole move and the whole change in direction of my life and where things are going at the moment has just made me a little bit more zen, maybe. I don't know, a bit more relaxed, who knows. So I'm actually only got very small plans this winter and autumn, and as it's finally turning a little bit chillier and the leaves are finally changing colour, and we went on a walk to Becky Falls with Robin's grandparents last weekend, and I will put in some footage at the end. The leaves, there was a leaf litter on the ground, and we could hear them crunching and rustling, and I started to feel all autumnal, and it was my husband's birthday, and that's obviously autumn, and yeah, I tried a toffee apple cider, and that was really nice. So I've kind of gone all autumnal. So the result is, with the pumpkins and the photography and my squash and walks in the woods, I'm feeling all autumnal. And so yeah, I want to talk about my autumn making plans. That's going to have to wait for a little bit. We're going to have a little bit of an intermission. You won't know anything about it. Hopefully I'll come back not looking too dishevelled. Yeah, I will speak to you later on about it because little man's just woken up. Hello, I'm back. We've had a brief interlude while we got my little one lunch, and he's gone off to visit with his lolly and popper, and when his daddy gets back we're going to be wallpapering his bedroom, which is exciting and stressful. So my husband's just taken Robin away to visit with his lolly and popper, and yeah, I've got a few minutes to chat autumn knitting plans with you before I have to go and start hanging wallpaper. I'll pop some pictures up maybe at the end of our son's bedroom. It's almost complete. We are going to get new carpet, but we think we might just move him in first, and so that we can get the office done. And you don't need to know all this. You don't need to know this. Right. Okay. So I've got a new cup of coffee, and I'm ready to talk winter knitting plans with you, autumn winter knitting plans. So I'm not sure how far I got before, but I typically have traditionally been an overpacker, an over-preparer, and over-ambitious. So if I'm going away if I'm going to a knit night, I'll take 3 projects. Why? I'm going for 2 hours. What are you thinking? Just take one. if I go away, I take 5 or 6 for a week thinking, oh, I'm gonna have all this making time, and it never happens. But actually, weirdly enough, since having Robin, I've changed a little bit, and I've found that when you have to carry all these other things as a parent, it's actually, you want to pack light. And I've been really sensible and just taken a sock, or I took very little when I went away just recently. So I'm a one project, or I'm packing better for the time I've got. And I think the same sort of thing's happening with my approach to my autumn winter plans. Normally it's like, it's autumn, it's sweater weather, I'm going to make all the garments, everyone's having Christmas presents, and I'm going to make my son a quilt, and I'm going to make my husband a jumper, and my son's going to have a birthday jumper, a Christmas jumper. That's normally me, that's normally my vibe. I love making for other people. I very rarely make for myself. I love making for other people. But anyway, the whole vibe's just a bit more mellow this year, and I'm quite excited about it. I'm here for it. And I don't think I'm alone. I was watching Bethany of Well Love Knits. I know I've started mentioning her every week, but I really enjoy her podcast, and I could just listen to her. She's not got the same manic energy I think I have, but she's a bit calmer. Yeah, oh, new glasses, by the way. The lighting in here has changed, so I don't think the glare's quite as bad. Yeah, I don't think the glare's quite as bad, so hopefully we'll get away with that. My son broke my glasses, and they were held together with sticky tape, and I was putting off getting new glasses, and suddenly I was editing YouTubes, and an old thumbnail came up of one of my old episodes. I was like, well, I liked those glasses, why don't I just go buy those again? So I have. These are my new old glasses. Hopefully you think they suit me. It feels good. My husband didn't even notice the change, because I suppose they suit me, so that's a good thing. Right, okay, so I'm going to spend some time, rather than planning lots and lots of new cast-ons, I'm just going to enjoy my making time. That is my major plan for autumn knitting. And oh dear me, I'm in the middle of a round, hang on. So first of all, if we talk about works in progress, last time I showed you my hoe, which was my Quinn's memory sock. The pattern has now been released. 10 pattern sales will be enough to fund a box for a family. So please do, it's another plug for the Quinn's memory sock pattern. Please do go and check that out. I'll put the link in my description again below. I've cast on and I've done the rib. Oh, almost, actually it's almost all the rib. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. I've got 3 more rounds of rib to go, so I'm going to finish those, and they're going to be my socks. And the colourway, oh, I've got the actual one in here if you didn't watch last week's. That's the half object, and the colourway is Nautical Twilight, which is a Midnight Dyery colourway. I mentioned at the top of the episode that I am a yarn dyer, and the dye studio will be coming back in the new year. I've decided to just leave all the pressure, just enjoy being here, enjoy setting up. Oh, excuse me, a wardrobe malfunction. Oh, I'm wearing what's meant to be quite comfy, like exercise trousers, because I can move much more easily in them. Ready for doing the wallpapering, but I think my lunch is making itself felt. Right, so then at knit night I finished the body of the flax sweater that I'm doing for Robin. So I bound that off. You'll notice there's extra ends, and that's because I lost at Yarn Chicken. Now, Yarn Chicken, if you haven't heard of it before, is a truly fantastic game. It's a game of daring and excitement and peril, and basically it's when you're getting towards the end of your ball of yarn and you're not sure what's going to come first, the end of the ball of yarn or the end of the bit you're working on. And the sensible thing would be to add in a new ball of yarn at a sensible point. But I didn't want to start a new ball of yarn for the bind off, so actually I cut out a row of rib that I should have had and did the bind off, and I ran out of yarn halfway round the bind off. Now the bind off for this, I've just bound off in pattern. I've just done an ordinary bind off in rib. I do love the tubular bind off, but it's a while since I've done it and I just, so I haven't. And then last night I was catching up with Penrose and its podcast. Another name I mention a lot is Laura Penrose, but I love her videos. Hers are more stylised and edited. And it just goes to show how much variety there is out there. But I was enjoying it and I was going to sort out my pumpkin. And then I realised that the needles I need for the pumpkin were on the sleeve. Talking about drama. Finished? Puppy. Anyway, the needles I needed were on the sleeve of Robin's Flax because I was very good and went straight onto Sleeve Island. So I had to get down to the ribs so I could swap the needles out and then fix the pumpkin. So last night I spent some time like dithering. I couldn't decide what I wanted to do and I actually wasted half an hour. So I sat down and I did the sleeve of the flax. So I'm on the ribbing now. I've just started the ribbing. And then I've got the next sleeve there. So this is part of my autumn knitting plans, is to get this one finished. I cannot wait for him to wear it. I was thinking about doing like a little outfit parade of setting out the different things that he can wear, because these look super cute with jeans. They're nice and relaxed and comfy with joggers. He's got some cute little autumn dungarees that they're going to look so sweet under. Oh, lovely. Styling your knits as a toddler. This is about his 6th flax. At some point I'm going to do a video of all the things that he's worn knitwear wise between sort of 12, newborn to 2. He's going to be 2 in a couple of weeks. And he's had one completely new style jumper recently, which is the cotton one from Debbie. But the rest have all been flaxes recently. So basically what he was wearing from 0 to 12 months has now carried him through into that. So that's the Flax by Tin Can Knits. So autumn plans so far is to get myself a cosy pair of socks, finishing the Quinn's memory socks, and finish Robin's new flax. I'm loving the fabric that I'm getting with the bigger needles. I clearly have tightened up as a knitter, or maybe it's the yarn, maybe it's not quite the same gauge as Tin Can Knits, but I think the whole fit's going to be so much better. Okay, next for autumn knitting plans. Ta-da! Now this was, I've teased about on my Instagram and was part of the reason why I went and bought pumpkins for the photography. This is a cat bed skein of yarn, and by which I mean it's a second. So if you followed Jude of Stranded Dye Works for a number of years, you will know that he's very, very particular about his yarn. He's I mean, I think all yarn producers are, but he is particularly particular. And if there's anything that he is not 100% happy with, like 120% happy with, then that skein of yarn used to get given to the cat in her cat bed. Sadly, the cat is no longer with us, and shortly after Chubbington passed away, I was messaged by Jude and asked if I wanted some seconds, some cat bed yarn, for want of better, as I call it, cat bed yarn, which probably sounds worse. And I was like, yes, and the most amazing parcel of squishy goodness arrived, and I adore Jude's yarn anyway, and in it was this, and my husband absolutely pounced on it. I've never seen him this enthusiastic about yarn. I mean, his wife's a dyer, but you know. It's a beautiful, beautiful green, and I've spoken to Jude and he says it's oxide. I can't see what wasn't quite right about it. I'm sure he'll tell me if he looks at it close enough, but it is a colourway he dyes from time to time. So coming down the pike are some lovely textured socks, because my husband said he would like some socks in it. He also said he'd like a hat, but I'm pretty sure I've got this colourway in DK in my cat bed stash as well. So there's going to be at least one new pattern coming on. I haven't cast these on because I wound the yarn, but while I was winding the yarn, inspiration struck for my pumpkin, and squirrel. or pumpkins. So that is also a plan. That's going to be socks. Oh, it's beautiful. And I love a hand wound ball of yarn. Let me see if I can make it. Yeah. Oh. I shared this on my stories, and Natty said that she wished she could make yarn like that. And I half jokingly said I'd make a tutorial video about how I wind a ball of yarn, and actually that seemed to go down quite well. So yeah, I will be doing a 2-minute Tuesday at some point in the future on how I wind a hand wound ball of yarn. Not a centre pull ball, just an ordinary bog standard ball in which you could put in a lovely yarn bowl perhaps. So I also want to finish my mother-in-law's socks for Christmas, and I've got plans to do, I would like to do my husband another pair of Christmas Eve socks and my son a pair of Christmas Eve socks, because that was just nice, putting on socks on Christmas Eve and cozying up, and I'm hoping to do that again this year. There was another beautiful sample garment that was hanging on the grid wall. It was a really nice kind of scoopish neck, not too high, not too low, perhaps not as low as this, probably about there. Short sleeved, kind of beige, for want of a better description, latte coloured jumper with lace detail down the front and on the sleeves. And I've just started a new job, and the dress code is black, and I don't have much, if anything, that's black. And I'll put a picture of it up on the screen now, this pattern. I've bought it from her website and I've got it on a download on my phone, and it's going to, for my size, take 2 balls of 4-ply yarn. And so I purchased from Wool on the X 2 balls of West Yorkshire Spinners signature 4-ply in the licorice colourway, which is black as night, black as licorice. I've not knit in black yarn before, I don't think, with the exception of the honeycomb baby blanket I did for my nephew, which was black with grey overlaid. But to actually knit a garment in black, that's new. That's new for me. I'm not sure how it's going to go. But I knew I was going to go to Wool on the X, so I hopped onto their website, because I didn't buy the yarn there and then. I was sort of umming and ahhing about what I'd do, whether I'd do it for me as an everyday piece or whether it would work for work. And when I got home, I was browsing Wool on the X's website, and I saw they had 3 balls of licorice in stock, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to buy them now and order them for store pickup. So that's what I did. And so that's part of my autumn winter knitting plans, because I think that would be great for as we're coming into spring next year. So I'm not putting myself under any pressure to finish it now, but I think coming into spring, it's in a really old building, the 7 Dials where I work. It's in Cockington Court, which is beautiful and old, and so it gets hot and it gets cold. So it's about the layers, I've been told. And yeah, we went to Exeter on Friday. Was it only Friday? Yeah, I went to Exeter on Friday and went to Wool on the X. It was a flying visit, but I was picking up something very special. If you know, you know. Bear with me. It's the chicken! If you know, you know. Oh, I can't see what I'm doing. I hope you can see that. I ordered a fancy hen kit. So I met Ella months ago virtually. I actually was applying for a job as a shop assistant at Wool on the X, knowing that I was going to be moving. Unfortunately, I wasn't going to be able to get down there in time, and so the timeline just didn't work. But I discovered that Ella is Ella Austin, who designed the chicken that I love, that featured in Bronagh Dovestone DK book, toy book. There's a bit of a story to it. I went to Unravel, and it must have been, was it 2019? I think must have been 2019. Went to Unravel, and Bronagh had a stand, and on the stand was this chicken, and it was one of those moments where someone exclaims something at the precise moment that everyone else in the room stops talking, and you've just got this crazed woman going, I need that chicken. I got a few funny looks. and Graham, my friend who was managing RMU at the time, heard about this and sent me the actual chicken sample to the shop that I worked in, and I had custody of the chicken for a while. It was a wonderful surprise, and I gave it back via, weirdly, someone who has an allotment where Graham has an allotment. And it's, anyway, so I'm looking up Ella, because you do when you're being interviewed, you look up, find out everything you can, and found that she was a designer. She's also a really lovely person, by the way, but anyway. And as I was scrolling down and I saw Kit's, I found out that she's the designer of the chicken. I mean, it's fate. And so I hopped on because she'd put together a limited number of kits, because this is when RMU wasn't trading. They appeared to be coming back. It's just amazing. And I ordered a kit for my chicken. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. So in here, I haven't even opened it yet. Should we open it together? Ooh, ooh. I went for the, as I can see it, original colourway. So this is BC Garn Loch Lomond 100% organic wool, and it's got status at just 100% wool. Doesn't say what type, and doesn't say what colour. 16. It's BC Garn, which is this beautiful tweedy navy. Oh, it's stunning. And the main colour is this beautiful grey, colour 6. Look at those together. Oh, so happy. And then there's a little bit of red for the, like, the bit at the top, and it has a proper name, and people who keep chickens like Ali will know this. I do not keep chickens, and I'm afraid I'm still 4 and call it the gobble, which is a turkey anyway, but there we are, that bit. It also includes, oh my gosh, that smells amazing. Right, so your kit includes 100 grams each of grey and navy, and 5 grams of red, and 275 grams of scoured white lambswool stuffing, 2 natural horn buttons. So my natural horn buttons must be in there. Oh my gosh, look at that. Look at that stuffing. Have you ever seen anything more perfect? That's going to be in my chicken. I'm stuffing my chicken with beautiful scoured lambswool stuffing. How amazing. So the whole kit, I think, was £30. 2 natural horn buttons. There we are. There's the buttons for the eyes. Oh, it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And Ella, bless her, has held on to this for me since April. So yeah, that is a big knitting plan for this autumn. I want to make the things that bring me joy, that I'm excited about, and that actually I want to work on. I think that's the main thing, isn't it? Actually wanting to work on it rather than being obligated to work on it. And as I'm sitting here getting excited about my chicken, there is a little bit of me that's like, oh, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. Oh, should can just do one, frankly, because why? Knitting and creating is something I love to do, and it brings me joy, and so I should be focusing on the elements of that bring me joy, surely. And if knitting a chicken for myself and not a Thomas the Tank Engine sweater for my son is what's going to bring me joy, then so be it. Although admittedly the Thomas the Tank Engine sweater will give me joy when he wears it, because I know he'll love it and he'll run around wearing it. It'll look super cute. And also, you know, he's going to be 3, he's 2, he's going to be 3 in a year's time. So by the time I eventually make it, he might be 4, he might have grown out of Thomas. You know, I do need to do that one. But anyway, I've got my chicken. So that was it. that was it for my autumn knitting plans. A garment for me that I can wear to work, super grown up and practical. Oh, because hang on, I've discovered that I don't actually have many of my own hand knit jumpers. I've got the Weekender, I've got the holiday slipover I did last year. I've got Verity's sample that I bought from her, which I didn't knit, and I've got my maternity. I've got my maternity top that I knit, the cotton one. Yeah, so yeah. So that's that really. And so I really need to make some more things to wear in my wardrobe proudly. Although, you know, my mum is a fantastic knitter, as you can see. I say was. She can't knit like this quite so much anymore. It's a really beautiful pattern. Yeah, so garment for me, the Quinn socks for me, Christmas Eve socks for the boys, my mother-in-law's socks, a chicken, and finishing Robin's flax and getting my pumpkin out. That does sound like quite a lot, doesn't it, actually? But you'll note I said that was all I had planned. And I used past tense with very good reason. Last night, I was watching Penrose Knits. I know I mention her a lot at the moment, but what can I say? I love everything she does. I haven't found anything yet that I don't particularly like that she's done. In this bag, by the indomitable little grey girl, I have my For the Love of Yarn advent. I'm going to have to go back through and see the order for this advent calendar so I get them in the right order, but this advent is being turned into, look at that, isn't that stunning? It's a yak base. It's a yak base, and that was my advent calendar from the Fluff Yarn. It's my first and only proper yarny advent calendar I've ever had, and I just love it. Apparently I'm part 3 through a row. And that is being turned into the Habitation Throw by Curious Handmade. But I got the 20 gram set, and I'm only actually using 10 grams of this. I think I'm saying this right. I think they are 20 gram minis. I might have to weigh them. I'm pretty sure they're 20 gram minis. I'm only using half of them. And that means in this blanket, which means I've got half left. And Laura Penrose has just released a new pattern called the Sweetshop blanket. And it's triangles that alternate. So you've got triangles of colour and triangles of the base. And I'm not really describing it very well, but do have a look. It's called the Sweetshop blanket. I'll see if I can put a picture up here, if I can pinch one from her website. And she did the most gorgeous little short video of her daughter Penny in her reading nook in her bedroom with this blanket. And I was just like, oh my gosh, it would totally work for my For Love of Yarn advent leftovers. Can't even speak. I'm that excited. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. I'm so excited. I think I'm the most excited. This might even eclipse the chicken. Because we're doing Robin's room at the moment, and I've bought him a little tent for his bedroom to go in and read his books, and it's going to have fairy lights and cushions, and I've bought him 2 little animal rugs. So he's got a hedgehog, and then there's a fox that's curled up sleeping, sass and bell rugs for in his bedroom. And yeah, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, and if he had that blanket, he could sit there like Pete and read his books. And I know he would, because he loves his books. So yeah, so that's what's going to happen. I'm going to do a Sweetshop blanket for Robin. Yeah, I'm pretty sure these are the ones I've already used in a paper bag. Can we call that Advent ASMR? I don't know. So there we have it. This autumn, my plans are going to be about embracing autumn colours and all things cosy and making things that I actually really want to make. I'm not worrying about all the whips that I had on my board. You'll notice I haven't brought my whip board out for the last 2 episodes. I'm not going to at the moment. I'm just gonna work on the things I want to work on and not worry about it, and not worry about how many things I've got on the go, or how long they've been on the go for, or what deadlines there are, or what arbitrary goals I'm trying to meet. I'm just going to knit and crochet and hopefully love every moment. And that's kind of what I think this is about, really. You'll notice I'm using a lot of commercial yarn, not just hand dyed. I love hand dyed yarn. I love independent designs. I'll carry on supporting independent designers where I can, but I'm a woman on a budget and I want to make things and be able to afford to make things, and yeah, there we are. Anyway, there's about a minute left, so I'd love to hear all about your autumn making plans. Do let me know in the comments below what you are doing. Are you doing the whole gift making thing this year? I'm choosing not to put myself under that much pressure this year, but I'd love to hear what you've decided to do and how you're going to manage it. And I'm going to leave you, if I haven't done so already, with at the beginning of the episode, with some more footage of our trip to Becky Falls, a beautiful waterfall in Dartmoor in Devon. And it was a really lovely day and really inspirational. So I hope you enjoy the outro, and I will see you all very, very soon. Bye.